Hi, Megan here from Crystal Lake Public Library, and today I want to show you how to make a simple, no-knead cinnamon raisin bread. A few simple ingredients, and this is a 2-day process, so you'll have to plan that accordingly. So in a big mixing bowl, we're going to put 3 cups of flour, 2 tablespoons of sugar, so let me measure that out. Take your flour into the big bowl, and it's nice because it's no knead, so you can mix everything together all at once. You don't need to pre-proof your yeast, but if you feel more comfortable doing that, that's always an option. 2 tablespoons of sugar go in, and granulated sugar, this is more of a sugar in the raw. You could use brown sugar if you have that on hand. And I've pre-measured out my yeast. So dump that right in the bowl, and my salt, and then I have pre-warmed my water and milk. So it's 3/4 a cup of water, 3/4 a cup of milk, and then you want it just slightly warm to the touch. If you have a thermometer, that's always helpful. Until you get a good feel for it. So you can get your little thermometer out, and you want it around anywhere between 90 to 110 degrees. And mine's 98, so perfect. I'm going to give the dry ingredients a quick stir together. And then we'll be adding the milk. Pour that right in the bowl and just give it a stir together until it forms a shaggy dough. So it doesn't have to be perfect, you just want everything moist. So the next step for this, in my separate bowl over here, I have raisins. And to the raisins, we're going to add cinnamon and a little bit of vanilla, and this is just a homemade vanilla. So it's going to be 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla and 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. And then you're going to give that a little stir together. And that just helps to flavor the raisins and kind of protect them so that they don't all clump together in the dough, which often happens to raisins in a dough. Now we're going to add these right to the dough and kind of scrape down any of that cinnamon and vanilla that have stuck behind in the bowl. And then we're going to stir this and just until everything is well mixed and the liquid from the raisins is absorbed and you don't see any chunks of flour. So give that a couple goes around with your arm, working those muscles, and it smells wonderful with that cinnamon and that vanilla. And that's exactly what you want it to look like. Not a perfect dough. It's very sticky at this point. So I have this scrape down all the dough off the spoon and off the sides of the bowl. And then we're going to put either some plastic wrap or a tea towel over the top. We're going to let this sit out on the counter for anywhere from 12 to 24 hours. So if you want to make this the night before or the afternoon before, that is step 1. I will get a towel put over mine. I'm just going to set it to the side of my counter and forget about it. So I'll see you tomorrow for the next step. Hi, so we're back the next day. I've let my dough rest overnight on the counter. I had it just covered with a towel. So for this next step, you're gonna have to do a little pre-planning. You're gonna warm up the oven to 425 with a rack on the lowest shelf that it can go. And before you preheat the cast iron, which is what you're gonna bake your bread in, give it a nice little spray, and then we'll put this in the oven to warm up and set a timer for 20 minutes. So I will put that in my oven to pre-warm, and be very careful because it's gonna be very hot when you pull it out. So for the dough, here's my raisin cinnamon dough. You're gonna, with nice clean hands, flour your hands, and because it's very sticky at this point, we'll work the dough out and we'll just shape it into a ball. And again, very sticky, so have flour at hand ready. And once this is pre-warmed, we'll place it in there, put the cover on, and bake it as is with the cover on. This won't be on there. And we're gonna bake it for 30 minutes. So once your oven has warmed up and the pan has warmed up at 425 for 20 minutes, shape the dough, place it in the cast iron Dutch oven, and put it in the oven. Set another timer for 30 minutes. Once that timer goes off, we're gonna reach in, remove the lid, and let it bake for another 10 minutes. So I will show you what it looks like after all of that, and I hope you enjoy this recipe, and let me know if you have any comments or questions, and enjoy. Thank you. Bye. I just pulled the bread out of the oven here in the cast iron pan, and now I'm going to take it out of this pan and set it on a wire rack to cool before slicing and enjoying. So here's my loaf all finished, cooling on the cooling rack. We're going to slice into it, slather it with butter, and enjoy it. Thanks, everybody.